All right, we're out here riding today. We've brought our friend Justin out. He has a Stark Varg on pre-order. He's been asking us a lot of questions about if he should keep it, if he should get an Ultra Bee, or if he should get another gas bike. So we offered to bring him out and let him ride these 4 bikes. And in the end, we're gonna make you make a decision. You gotta tell us, like, you're about to drop some serious money. What's it gonna be? Hey everybody, it's Brian from Charge Cycle Works. We're out here on an unusually warm day. It's almost Christmas and it's 50 degrees. So we're shooting a quick little riding video. We've been reading the forums a lot, and we've been reading a lot about the Stark Varg and all the pre-order owners out there who are on the fence on if they're gonna keep their pre-order or not, or maybe accept the bike and resell it. People are asking, is this the right bike for me? Is it good enough for trail riding? What's the range like? How does it compare to bikes like the Ultra Bee or a gas bike? Lots and lots of questions. So we're out here to answer some of those questions. How does the Varg compare to the Ultra Bees? And we've brought a guest rider with us to help us answer those questions. Before we introduce our guest rider, let's talk about the bikes we've brought today. So on my far right side, we've got my personal bike, my Stark Varg, the red one. It's set up as a motocross bike. It's got a foot brake. It's only the 60 horsepower version, 19-inch wheel in the rear, 21 up front, of course. It's set up for moto. Next to me, this white bike, this one is more of their off-road focused bike. So it has a kickstand, it has a handbrake. This one actually is an 80 horsepower bike and an 18-inch rear tire. We've also brought 2 different Ultra Bees. So on my left right here, this is essentially the same bike we raced at TKO. It's basically just gummy tires with moose tubes and different parts and accessories to make it hold up to extreme enduro type of terrain. Stock power, stock suspension, so mostly a stock bike, just slightly upgraded for the types of riding that we all do. On my right is a modified Ultra Bee. This has suspension on it. We've got the EXT RIA rear shock. Just came out, first aftermarket shock available for the Ultra Bee. And then on the front is one of the KKE factory upgraded forks. So slightly heavier springs and some better dampening. Not a huge full upgrade, but a noticeable, nice, moderate upgrade at a fair price point. We also have 1821 wheels on it, which we put on all of these Ultra Bees, and handlebars and a couple other bits and pieces, but a moderate upgrade mostly in the suspension. On this bike, we also have an upgraded 72 volt, 76 amp hour battery. While it doesn't really give us additional power because it's a stock controller, it does give us a significant amount of range. So let's go through what these bikes cost. This TKO version of the bike is roughly about $8,000. We'll put exact specs and pricing in the video so you guys can see, but this is roughly an $8,000 bike here with our TKO setup. Moving on to the one with some suspension upgrades. Without the battery, it's a little under $10,000, somewhere between $9,500 and $10,000. And with the battery upgrade, we're getting up to around the $13,000 price point. Here we have a motocross specific setup, Stark Varg. It is the 60 horsepower one, which saves you $1,000. So this bike is around $13,000 if you were to order it today. And lastly, the most expensive bike. So this Varg is the 80 horsepower version. You actually have to pay a little bit more for the kickstand and some parts like that. It's about a $14,000 bike. Let's get to know Justin for a minute so we can see how he relates to your style of riding. So Justin, you come from a serious mountain biking background. You even coach and train on the high school mountain bike team.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about the bikes you've owned, both gas and electric.
Yeah, for sure. So Brian introduced me to the Surron. Since it's such a crossover from mountain biking, it really opened up my skill set and eyes to full-on motos. I then got into XCW 150, which I loved, and then moved up to the 250 XCW. And that's so far my favorite bike. I still looking to see if I can replace that with an electric moto. And today I'm able to try out the Ultra and the Varg and seeing if it fits the typical Utah single track rider from high alpine to southern Utah's deserts. So yeah, I'm interested to see how they all stack up versus my gas moto, and yeah, let's go.
So living in Utah and a wide variety of styles of riding, what made you decide to pre-order a Stark Varg?
You did.
You're blaming it on me, huh?
So I had a gas bike, had the Surron. I was looking to mix the two. I really like the hand brakes up top, the lack of shifting, the lack of maintenance. So when they first released, you gave me a heads up on it. I pulled the trigger on it, thinking it'd be the, definitely worth a try. And here we are a few years later, and first chance to see if it's gonna work for me. So
Yeah. So we're kind of like pretty much day one pre-order holders.
absolutely,
And
yeah.
yeah, the hype was really high back then, and comparing to a 450, we were hoping it had 450 range, which in my mind was 50 miles. I don't think they quite hit that mark, but it is still a very capable bike. So I'm really curious to see what you think of it in an off-road setting. All right, so Justin mentioned that he prefers the feel of a two-stroke, which means low regen versus high regen. So what I've done here is I've given us a full spectrum of power and regen. So mode number 1 is going to be 30 horsepower, 20 regen. The reason the 30 is so high is he's curious if he wanted to like squeak out as much range as possible, what does this bike feel like at a low power setting? So 30 horsepower, 20% regen. Mode 2 is going to be 40 horsepower, 30% regen. So I'm stepping up 10% each time on the regen so he can get a feel for the different regen settings. Mode 3 will be 50 horsepower, 40 regen. Mode 4 will be 55 horsepower and 50 regen. And mode 5, we've topped out at 60 horsepower and 60 regen. The reason we didn't go all the way up to 80 is we're on single track today and nobody's gonna ride 80 horsepower at single track. So for kicks and giggles, if he wants to try that later, we'll let him do it, but I have a feeling he won't go beyond 60.
Okay, so first ride on the Ultra. It's an unfamiliar trail, but I've ridden a lot of stuff like it. And power delivery is good. Like, I don't feel like I'm lacking anything, especially off the initial hit. The mid-range is a little soft on this stock tune. But yeah, I mean, like on this stuff right here, it's got plenty of power. Brakes feel amazing. Suspension is soft, but for this in a good way. It feels balanced. But this has the upgraded internals up front and the EXT on the back. Yeah, it's quick out of the corners. Very quick. So standing up on this bike, like I said, I'm 6'3". No drop pegs, which I run on all my bikes. And I think I have a standardized bar. I think he said it's KTM or Honda, but either way, it's not the stock Varg bar. Ultra stock bar. It's definitely low. I'm holding on. I can't get in a good standing position in order to properly weight the front wheel and be in attack position, but that's common for every bike I ride until I do the usual mods, so not a huge deal. I'm sure I'll feel that on all the bikes. We'll see how much different the stock Varg feels. This is where I was wondering how this bike would feel from like a dig, right? Like stop, and then try to get traction on the loose stuff, and I'm running quite a bit PSI in this rear, and it's still pretty good there, so.
Okay, we're basically going down a waterfall right now, and it's slick, kind of icy mud. This is where I can feel the weight of the Varg. The other trail riding feels a lot like my 300 weight-wise, but going downhill, so going down that waterfall, you feel the weight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if you try to hard brake on these things, it's like there's a lot going forward right now.
Yeah, and you're being careful with the front brake to not wash out. Yeah. What'd you think about going down that steep hill on the Ultra Bee?
I mean, because of its smaller size, you don't feel like so worried about like the weight, you know?
Yeah.
So you put yourself in worse, like bigger bikes, you're gonna be more worried about tipping over. It was fun, yeah.
Yeah, on this bike I definitely feel almost like I'm on a 450, like I'm tiptoeing.
Yeah, because doing more like hard angles, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to lean over because of the weight.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh boy, I got roosted. I'm on DJ's bike now. Well, already feels way different. I don't know what's going on. Okay, it's probably the mooses. Feels like I got a flat tire in a good way though, especially through this crap. Oh boy. Yeah, if I was to build one of these, definitely low pressure the gummy is how I'd like it set up for this kind of stuff. Crazy, you go from slush to dust. I can already see the dust there. It's pretty cool though. Say they're definitely fun to ride. Definitely less composed than my XCW, I mean naturally. It's a little twitchier, not quite as confident on it, especially like things just get weird, like ice, a weird drop in where it's chunky. I just don't know if I don't trust the bike yet. I just gotta remind myself this isn't a light bee. I'm sure it can take a little more than what I'm expecting. Yeah, so instantly I felt better when it came to the cornering. Like it already, I could tell it hooked up better.
Yeah.
Could be just the pressure only.
I think that's it. I think it's just
It's pressure.
in this
Yeah.
But otherwise, dude, the suspension is so much better. Holy crap. Yeah.
Okay, first ride, Stark Varg. What a privilege. These guys got me out here to try this before I pull the trigger on mine. So, man, super happy to be able to do this. I just rode 2 Ultras for comparison. Liked them both. Ergonomics for me don't work stock, which I know I can fix with eventually some drop pegs if I can find some, and then some riser bars, bigger bars. So already this thing has, you can feel the inertia once to hold a line way better, less twitchy, which I do like. Which way do they go, dang it? Oh. Missed the corner. Uh-oh. Where's the clutch on this thing? This thing doesn't come with a winch? Where's the winch on this thing? So definitely feel the weight, but not in a bad way yet. We'll see when I get a couple more miles in this thing. Let's see how the suspension feels. Oh yeah, this thing feels pretty stinking good. Gosh, I thought I'd be more comfortable on the Ultra because of the size, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm more comfortable in this right off the bat. Mode 130, power is super controllable, but for me, I'm just being a taller guy, I instantly feel better. Oh, we came down this. I remember this now. Whose jacket's at? Do we need to get that? You right?
Oh shit. Oh, that's where the weight comes in.
Oh, here's an instance. Dead stop. Let's see how this thing feels from a dead stop here. We got a little bit of throttle. Without spinning. We'll see. I never had it like this. Got to keep your feet down. There he goes. Come on. There's some roots. Fans on. I'm not slowing Brian down. I want to stand up really bad, but for some reason I'm having a hard time getting to that point. Weight back. Just stand up. Am I gonna slip if I stand up? Come on. Momentum, momentum, momentum. Keep rolling. Keep rolling. Keep rolling. First time I felt the weight of the bike. Come on.
There you go, that's it.
Huh. So, I rode it like a complete noob. I think there's some technique differences to be had. I'm gonna turn around. I mean, I think I would have struggled on that on my 250 as well. For my average Joe skill set, let's try this bike here, this Ultra. This is just a soupy mess. I mean, don't know if you can tell, but way easier. Same scenario. Okay, I'm gonna get back. Wow.
Dude, maybe we shouldn't be riding back here.
We hit everything today. A little bit of flow, some nasty, wet, snowy, muddy, sloppy, rocky. We hit everything today, so it was a really good test. So to start with, this climb right here, you can't see the end of it. It's steep the whole time. It's soupy, it's loose. It's your traditional tech climb here in Utah. And I would say on my 250, this would be flip a coin for me. On the good days, feeling good, you'd make it. On other days, you're struggling and you're a struggle bus. But so on the Varg, struggle bus. I think I went back down, did it 5 more times. I'd probably struggle each time. Could be the tire composition, the weight of the bike, the height of the bike. I'm a tall guy, but I was just struggling. Once I stopped, lost momentum, it was hard for me to get enough momentum to get my pegs weighted to get traction again. The guys made me go back down and do it again on the Ultra, which does have gummy tires, but incredible. As soon as I got on it, I could pick a different line, shot right up. I don't know if I even heard the bike slip. I think it was constant tractor mode the whole way up. Piece of cake coming right up this. So for technical climbing, if you're not a pro, conditions are nasty. It could be tires, whatever else, but that Ultra for sure had the edge for me.
Yeah, if you want a cheater bike, an Ultra Bee with gummy tires on it is unreal. Our 5 miles of hell video, Brett was riding that bike and he made everything look so easy. And I was on my KTM 300 and like you were with the Varg on this particular hill, it was a struggle in sections. So what about where the terrain opened up more and it was more like single track flow trail?
Single track flow, both bikes excel. The tighter it is, I think, like on paper, naturally you'd think the Ultra would be better. But for me and my stature and the Geo, I felt better on the Varg either way. Just because of the height of the bike, it felt like a bigger bike. I could be more aggressive with it the way I was in an attack position. I just couldn't get in the attack position on the Ultra. Yeah. Whereas the Varg, I was way more efficient, cleaner lines, and yeah.
So on the Ultra, you'd probably have to do some modifications for ergonomics, like taller bars, and once you could drop foot pegs, which we can't quite do yet, but those types of parts and accessories will come out sooner.
Instantly, if I got that bike, I wouldn't probably ride it until I made it taller, one way or another. The Varg, I could buy it and get on it comfortable. I'd still want some other things, but it definitely, like stock form, I like the Varg better. Ergonomics.
So the big question, you know, knowing the price differences between these bikes, because it's a big gap.
Bang for buck, I mean, obviously you can't beat the Ultra. The way you guys at Charge Like Works set them up with the wheels and the essentials, you can't beat that bike. And I think that's been pretty clear. I think everyone, there's no argument on that. And I'm trying to even take the prices out of it. And it's like you pick the best tool for the job. And I think you're just going to have to, there's going to be some strengths on both sides, right? And you're just going to have to give up something on one end or the other. if they're equal price, I just feel like the Stark, obviously you could feel the quality of it.
Yeah.
But man, right now, like I'm gonna have to go back home and I'm gonna have to do research and see what you can do to the Stark to make it more like the Ultra, or the Ultra more like the Stark, somewhere in the middle, right?
Right.
So my riding crew, they're all on 302 strokes.
Yeah.
So I have to be able to do, 50 miles, or roughly there. Today was a good amount of riding I think we did. And obviously there's plenty of battery for what we did. I don't know how many hours and miles we did, but we'll get back to you on that. But it was a lot of riding, it was a lot of fun, so it didn't hold me back. I didn't even look at the battery for like range anxiety today.
I do have the mileage here. It's probably going to be less than what you think, because this has been
stopped,
a different, we've done a little over 12 miles.
I was going to say 15.
And used about a little less than 50% of the battery. So let me sum up what I think I heard, and you can confirm.
Okay, I'll try.
What I'm hearing is you're going to keep a gas bike because you need one with your KTM 300 crew, because there simply aren't really electrics that can really hang. We did do 50 miles on an Ultra Bee in one of our videos with a gas crew, and so it is possible. But I'm kind of feeling that you're probably going to stick with a gas bike. So let me ask you this. Like me, I've got a KTM 300 as well. I'll probably own that bike till the day I die. I love it so much. So with that in mind, and you add an electric bike to your stable, which one would it be?
So again, I'm not some big baller, right?
Yeah.
So a second bike, a $14,000 bike is a lot of bike for a second bike.
Yeah.
You want that bike to be able to do everything. Just because of the value it has to be the Ultra. You could have, you can get a KTM set up for your big rides, and then I really like the idea of that, because my wife, she has a Light Bee, and it's so nice to load both bikes up in the back of the truck. No gas, no oil, no messes or anything else, no air filter change when we get home. Do a quick ride, no noise. I can talk to her the whole time. Very chill. I can go slower on the bike, still have fun. When I had my two-stroke, I had to constantly kill. I couldn't hear her. I was smoking her out. So for a second bike, I think the Ultra is definitely a better second bike.
Yeah.
If you're a track guy that wants to do some trail riding, and you want the best bike ever, the fastest bike, then obviously that's the better bike, the Stark. But for a second bike and you're a gas guy, the Ultra, that's probably the better pick.
So let me ask that just a slightly different way.
Okay, go ahead.
So if you didn't have your gas crew and you didn't need that 50-mile
Okay.
range, so let's take the
Okay.
KTM 300
Okay,
out
range
of that.
out. Okay.
So let's say 25 miles was your sweet point,
Mhm.
and that's what you like to ride.
Mhm.
So now you don't need a gas bike to do that.
Okay.
Obviously, you love the Stark out here. Would that be your choice?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
So I was surprised. I was thinking it was going to be the other way around coming out here. But as soon as I got on the Stark, I instantly knew that I was more comfortable. I don't know if that's just because I'm used to riding a big KTM, but I've got time on both little bikes too. Instantly, it felt more composed. It felt more of a solid unit, more balanced. Even with the upgrade suspension, I just felt like I instantly could push it, and then I'd have more fun playing in these areas.
So, DJ, knowing you are absolutely a hard enduro guy, and the weight of the Stark Varg, I cannot imagine riding that bike in Red Bull TKO, for example. Just the little bit of tech we did out here, especially on the hill climbs, I think that bike physically would annihilate me at TKO. And knowing that that's the kind of stuff you ride, I have a hard time imagining you on a Varg.
The Varg is a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Like, I'd feel bad destroying it in hard enduro. I want to, though. I want to put proper gummies on it, and I want to go beat it up in hard enduro just to see. I don't think the weight would matter that much. I really don't. I think it might help you, actually.
Well, there we go. I think that's a future video that we're going to have to get to next time.
Are we going to beat up a Ferrari?
Yes. Whistling DJ.
Whistling DJ. I like it. Whose budget is that coming out of?
Hey,
We need some sponsors.
I just want to thank these guys for having me out. What a blessing it is to be able to try all these bikes back to back. Like, you never get to do that. So it was definitely a tool that they provided me, and I hope it helps you guys as well making this decision. Feel free to reach out to any of these guys on their YouTube channel, online. We'll try to answer the questions, but it's a tough one. But I think every rider is going to have maybe a slightly different answer. But they're all good, and this is going to be depending on your size, height, and weight, and what your intention is.